Mobile Suit Z-Gundam was the darker and edgier sequel to the original Gundam. That anime was about the war of independence between the spaceborne people of the colonies, led by the Nazi Germany-like Zeon, and the Earth Federation. And while the Federation were the good guys in that show, their new elitist unit, known as the Titans, which seeks to destroy any remaining Zeon remnants, are the antagonists here.
The Titans have their own set of rules.
You're not different. The Titans are a branch of the Federation forces.
Z-Gundam was interesting because it forced you to throw that black and white morality out the window. The good guys are now the bad guys, and the bad guys are now allies. But let's talk about the PS1 game. You can play as the girlishly named Camille.
Camille is a perfectly good name for a guy!
Piloting the titular Zeta Gundam, or Char in his gold-plated pimp suit, the Hayaku Shiki. Both campaigns are spread across 2 discs. It's like Devil May Cry 2 if the other character wasn't absolutely terrible. Zeta Gundam was something of a triple threat between the Titans, the Aeug, and Neo Zeon, with the Aeug being the heroic resistance movement of the 3, which we're fighting for in this game. It would have been interesting if they made 3 campaigns, 1 for each faction, but that might be asking a little too much for a PS1 game. Gameplay wise, this captures the look and feel of the battles from the anime better than any other Gundam game I've played, which isn't many unfortunately. Most of them are never translated into English, this one included. So you have 2 means of offense, your beam rifle and beam saber. You can hang back and snipe from afar, or get all up in their grill. I love this dynamic in these types of games, but it's not as fluid as it could have been. You have to manually switch weapons and it's not very responsive and can break the flow of battle. It's certainly not as smooth as something like Virtual On, where you can switch to melee at a moment's notice. But apart from this gripe, the gameplay is very good. You can deflect shots with your shield, blast in close with your vernier thrusters, and ascend and descend with the shoulder buttons. If you wait until your target goes red, you can thrust in with your beam saber. Very similar to the show, it's really good stuff. These one-on-one battles you see here are basically the entire game. They throw some curveballs here and there, but you can tell that their focus was on creating these satisfying mono-a-mono battles. And they succeeded. It's actually really addictive, and even though I couldn't follow the cutscenes and was just going off my memory of the show, I managed to beat the entire game. The story follows all the same beats as the show, only squeezed into about 7 or 8 hours.
私はエウゴのクワトロバジーナ大尉であります。そしてこの話をする前に
Char's campaign is about 2/3 the length of Camille's and is probably a little harder just because you don't have use of his shield.
王とかいう強化人間のプレッシャーか。
Yeah, you'll be hearing this sad piano song a lot, almost once a mission. Pretty much everyone you come across in this game dies, just like in the show. Yeah, just thought I'd leave that fan service in there for you. Before Murasame really pulls off that green hair and purple lipstick combination, which would just look ridiculous in real life. At the beginning of missions, you'll have the opportunity to pick weapons. It's pretty pointless really, because the only other weapon is the bazooka. Bazooka or beam rifle? Beam rifle or bazooka? I'm just not sure. Hey, I haven't decided yet.
I order you to launch Gundam!
There are more characters to choose from in the 3 battle modes. Versus CPU 3 allows you to choose your character and opponent, and battle is a kind of arcade mode where you fight enemies in succession. The other mobile suits handle different as you might expect. The Psycho Gundam is big and slow and only has its stiff right hook as a melee attack. And yes, you can have Amuro versus Char if you want. There's also destructible body parts in this, which is pretty cool. Paptimus Scirocco, Yazan Gable, Beltachika Irma, Jamitov Hyman, Basco, Murat Farah. I just love these names. Everyone has an awesome name in the Universal Century. No wonder Camille is mad about his name.
兄さんは父の意志を継いで政治家になるより、まだ戦いの中に身を置きたがっているの。
Sailor says quite a bit more in her cameo here than she did in the original show, which was nothing if I recall.
だと思い、エウンを率いていこうというのであれば、やはり私の手で 兄さんを殺さねばならないのかも。
I actually like the graphics in this game. The environments don't look good, but the mobile suits and the thruster effects look really good. And these animated cutscenes look quite nice. I think it's new animation, it doesn't look like it's taken from the show. I really like the music as well, it sounds like it was taken right from the show. I got this game dirt cheap off eBay and I was not disappointed at all. This game's a real downer though, just like the show. If you're like me and you want to play a Gundam game that actually resembles the show, then I would definitely recommend this game. I'm starting something new on this show called the import-friendly scale, with 1 being absolutely incomprehensible to anyone who isn't fluent in Japanese, and 5 being the complete opposite, a game you can play perfectly fine without understanding a single word. This ranked a 4 on the import-friendly scale. The gameplay is easy to learn, there's nothing too complicated going on, but you won't be able to follow the story. Unless you're like me and you watch the show and you're just going off memory. So playing this game made me want to watch Z-Gundam again, so I'm gonna go do that right now. Bye!